This video isn't meant for the people who love to see the new things coming into my collection. This is for somebody who wants the satisfaction of finishing up products that have already been in my collection for quite some time. So if that's you, stick around. Hi all, my name's Catherine. I'm a beauty and reselling enthusiast, and those are the things that I love to talk about on this channel. If that's something you like to watch, consider subscribing before you go. As I said, this video is another part in my series of finishing the last bits, dips, and drips, my Beauty Empties challenge. And if you aren't familiar, I picked out this whole group of products at the beginning of January, and these are set aside from my regular Shop My Stash videos. If you'd like to know what I'm currently using in March, I'll link that for you. But this is a separate little mini stash of stuff that I'm using that I'm going to be using throughout the whole year and until I finish each product, or I've just gotten to the end of it that I just can't finish it anymore. Why I decided to do this is because, yes, I love getting new products in my collection. I mean, who doesn't? But I also wasn't showing enough attention. Like I wasn't getting to the point where I was panning things. I wasn't getting to the point where I was finishing things. So I really wanted to pick out some products that were almost at the end of it, of their beauty life, and to finish them up and to let them leave with grace. So that is what I'm going to be going through today. I did take starting weights of everything, and so each month I am showing you the progress that I'm making. So let's jump into it. So let's start with the foundations that I'm using. So the first one is the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. I have mine in the shade Very Light Cool 120, which is supposed to be very light with pink undertones. I've said this in every video. Kosas runs very yellow leaning, so this is more of a neutral type of color, which it's nice. I'm fair with cool neutral leaning undertones, so this works for me. I wish it was a little bit on the cooler side of stuff. I do have to mix it with some more cooler products to kind of get it to where I want it to be. But this is actually a really nice shade for like my tan shade throughout the summer. Why this is included is because technically this expired almost 2 years ago. I don't suggest putting expired makeup on your face. You do what you want to do with your makeup. This still performs well. It still smells fine. There are other Kosas products that do go bad quite quickly. I'm looking at you, bronzer, Kosas bronzer. But this one still works just fine. I just want to finish it. So I actually swatched all of these products in my last February video, so I will link that for you. When I went to go weigh these, and I'm weighing them all on the same scale in grams because I felt like that would be the best. Last month it weighed in at 102 grams, and then this month it weighed in at 103 grams. So I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, somewhere along the line, it got messed up. I did put this on the scale a few times. I'll double check again, but obviously it wasn't a very reliable weight apparently. So I can tell you I have used this a few times, so I'm actually kind of surprised that the weight didn't go down. But you know, this is a glass bottle, so the bottle itself is going to weigh a lot, and you know, the product itself probably doesn't weigh that much, but it is kind of interesting how it went up. So somewhere along the lines, it wasn't either, and I can never remember, reliable or valid measurement. I always got those confused in school. But anyways, all these products, well, except for one, we'll get to it, will be continuing on for the month until I have just decided that I am done with them or they are finished up. The other foundation I used was the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Glow. This is their Moisture Glow Anti-Pollution Foundation. I do have mine in the shade 130, which is Ivory. It is a light buildable coverage foundation. I typically will put these two together because this is definitely more on the cooler side and it cools this one down. I always make like a little bit of I don't know, I feel like an artist when I'm putting on foundations because it's like a pump of this, a pump of that, and just kind of mix different things together. Let me know if you're like that too, or if you're a purist and you only stick with one formula for your foundation, or you don't mix your blushes or anything. I feel like I'm mixing everything. Anyways, this one originally weighed in at 23 grams. So that was in January, and it measured in February as well. And actually now it measures 21 grams in March. So some progress. And as you can see, I mean, like she's down there. I keep saying that, oh, you know, I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to finish this up. And it never finishes up. This is the never ending foundation, I swear to you. But I will continue using it. And like I said, it's a really nice mix in for other foundations that are maybe a little bit too warm for me, or maybe even too neutral for me. This mixes in to add some coolness to it. The last product that I'm using as a foundation, although it says it's a concealer, I use it as a foundation. This is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I do have mine. Ugh. I do have mine in the shade Light. This originally weighed in at 16 grams, then in February it was 15 grams, and then in March it is 14 grams. So we can definitely see some progress in this. And I mean, we have the teeniest little bit left. And what I love about this type of packaging is that you will get all of the product out. Unlike something like this, there's still always going to be some like stuck in there just because of how it's packaged, but this has the like the little air pump that will get everything out. I really do love this as a foundation. I still feel like I have to powder it down. All of this stuff I have to powder down. I am combo oily, so it is something that does have to get powdered, but it is such a beautiful, just lightweight, natural type of look. So, and I do think this is one of my best shade matches. So even when when this is gone, I think I'm going to repurchase it again because it's such a great shade match, and to compare like other shades to it as well. So really love that. And then for concealers, we have the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I have mine in the shade Royal Icing 1.1N. Now, I used this a few times, and each time that I used it, it just seemed to look really not great underneath my eyes. I remember this being one of my favorite formulas for a really long time. It's more of a medium buildable full coverage type of concealer. It adds a really nice kind of like brightening property as well. That's what I prefer, like slightly brightening, not like, I don't want my eyes to look like separate from my face, but I do want them to look a little brightened. So I loved this one for both those qualities, but the last few times I used it, it just didn't look that great. So I think at this point, like the tides are changing and the formula isn't working out so well anymore. And I mean, I don't feel so bad because it's gone. I mean, there's still, you can scrape the sides of it and everything, but it's gone. So let's see what the weights are. This started at 33 grams in January, then it went to 32, and it is still 32 in March. So we are gonna say goodbye to Huda Beauty. Let's go figure out what we're gonna replace it with. So here is where I put all of my concealers, foundations, all that kind of stuff. These are concealers that I've used in my recent Shop My Stashes. These are ones that I still have to use throughout the year. So I kind of want to pick something that has been in my collection for the longest. So kind of looking through them, we have the Fenty one. I think that's Giorgio Armani, Natasha Denona, House Labs, One Size, Tula Stay. Out of all of those, I want to say the House Labs. I think this is the Triclone one. Yeah, maybe. Where does it say? It doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it's the Triclone one. And this is in 03 Fair Rosy. So I think we're gonna use this one in place of the Huda Beauty. And we're back. So I am going to replace it with the House Labs Triclone concealer. This one is in 03 Fair Rosy. It's the one that I've had the longest in my collection, so I feel like this would be the best fit to replace the other ones. From what I remember, this is kind of like a not buildable, I'm sorry, more of a self-setting type of concealer, which I've been preferring a lot lately, just because I don't know what's going on with my under eyes. I just noticed that when I powder them, which I've always powdered them in the past and they've looked kind of fine, I remember them seeming okay, but now as of lately, I don't know if I'm just a little bit more critical of my under eyes or if things are shifting, but when I powder them now, it just looks so crepey and not a look that I want. So for the past week or two, I've actually not been setting my under eyes. So I still put concealer on, but I haven't been setting them, and they've looked much better, like just smoother. So something that is more of a self-setting formula, I think is gonna work for me. So I think this will be perfect. So this is starting out, we are gonna start the countdown process of how much product we have in March. So it is starting at 28 grams. Speaking of powder, still working through the Jouer Soft Focus Hydrate and Set Powder. This is in Tray Translucent. So this is what it looks like. I will put it off to the side because over here I want to put a comparison photo of the actual pan progress that we're making. So this is just a very lightweight translucent powder. This is really nice all over the face. It just kind of, I think of it more as setting powder, or a finishing powder. What do they call it? A setting powder? I think it's more of a finishing powder. Just kind of slightly blurs things a little bit, but it doesn't do anything to mattify or add any extra coverage to anything. But it is a nice setting powder and we have quite some pan to it. So as far as this one, for some reason, we haven't been making progress on it, but hopefully from the progress photos, you can see we have made progress, but weight-wise, we have not. It is staying strong at 76 grams. So clearly the weight of the product isn't that great, which, I mean, obviously it's powder, but we have made progress on that. Going into my bronzers, I actually have two bronzers. So this is my liquid bronzer that I'm using, the Iconic London Sheer Bronze in Sunkissed. This is a very sheer bronzy type of color. I like it for that reason because you can make it a little bit more customizable. So if you really just want a flush of color, or just maybe not a flush, but you want like a whisper of a bronze, you can do that. And if you want more than that, you can add more than that. This is, where are we at on the weights? So started January at 12 grams, in February it was 11 grams, and it remains at 11 grams in March. I have used this multiple times. So again, product must not weigh that much, but I mean, this is filled with air, so it kind of seems like it's more full than what it is, but every time I feel like it's a catfish, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be done with it, I'm gonna be done with it, and I'm not done with it. So she persists. Another iconic London bronzer. This is the Precision Duo Contour Pot in the shade Light. So originally this came with a cream contour that has been long gone for quite some time on the bottom, and then it has the top right here, which is a powder bronzer. This they no longer make, which is kind of unfortunate because it is a really nice product. Again, I will put on the side some pan progress photos so you can hopefully see that there's been some progress made. This also remains pretty consistent from 28 grams starting in January, 28 in February, and it remains 28 in March. But we have used this. We've used all these products. The weights just for some reason are just not reflecting very well. Maybe I need to figure out a different way to measure these. That will be something. The next product is the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand. This is the High Blush in Pinkgasm. So I can actually say I haven't really used this one as much. Just a lot of my looks before weren't leaning more towards this kind of like warm, pinky, peach color. But now I'm like, my soul is reviving for the spring, and a lot of my eye looks have been more on like the pinky peach. I'm not pinky, definitely more peachy side, more warm tone side. So I think this will work better for the coming up months, but somehow, I was going to say somehow we made some progress, but we didn't. It's staying strong at 20 grams from January, February, and March. For some reason, I thought I had made some progress and I was a little bit shocked, but clearly I have not. Same thing with Tarte. It's, I haven't been using this one as much, and I want to say the times that I have used this, I feel like maybe the formula, I don't know, it might be starting to go, but I think I'm going to start using this in a different way. So this is the Tarte Shape Tape Glow On. I have mine in the shade Sunbeam. So I use this as a highlighter, but I think I might start using it more as like a glowy base, as a way to kind of like really rev up the usage of this product, because it is staying strong at 35 grams throughout all these months that I've done this. So we're going to need to do something, and that will give me a little bit more of a taste of how the formula is behaving, because as of right now, I don't know, I just feel like there's something in the air that this formula is turning on me, and not for the best. So we're going to try to incorporate this in a few different ways, maybe add it to a foundation, make it kind of like a glowy foundation. We'll see, but staying strong at, what did I say, 35 grams. As far as eyeshadows, we have the Urban Decay eyeshadow in tea. So this is their single shadow. This is very old packaging, so it does not look like this anymore. But let me put the side by side on there, because I do feel like I have used this. The pan has gotten a little bit bigger. This is still staying strong at 15 grams since January. So we're going to have to base it on our photos to see how much we've used of it. But this is just a really nice kind of neutral, maybe a little bit more cool leaning, like taupey color. Just a really nice nth crease kind of moment, which most days that's what I'm going for. And then these two products were actually brought in February. So I don't have January numbers on them, but I did bring them in February. So this one is the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Oh Snap. And I did recently sharpen this. I have used this quite a bit, and it is a nice color. Like, it is my lips, but intensified a little bit darker. More on, even though this seems like it's more on the pinky side, I still think it's leans a little bit on the brownie side of stuff. But a really pretty color. And then I've been topping it with the Bobbi Brown crushed lip color in blush, which that is what this looks like. This is probably my most used color throughout the years, hence why it looks used and why it's in this empty challenge video. But let's start with the numbers. So this, we started at 7 grams in February, and it's still 7 grams in March, even though I have used this quite a bit. And then for the Bobbi Brown, this started at 36 grams in February, and we have 35 grams in March. So these two I've been using a lot together. I will say, and I think I said this last time in my video, is that I remember this being more of kind of not a lip oil, not a satin, but there was some sort of like slippiness to the formula of this, and it doesn't perform that way anymore. It actually feels kind of matte. Like, when you put these two together, my lips are pretty matte and dry. So I can't remember if my memory is correct of this, and this being a little bit more of a slippy hydrating type of formula, and it's gone dry and now it's matte. Same thing with this. I don't remember it being that matte. I mean, with a lip liner, you want it to stay in place, which it does, so you don't want it slipping around too much, but it does seem it's a little bit dry, especially when I fill in my lips with this. But it is a beautiful combo together. So I'll use this, and then I'll top it with some sort of gloss to make it a little bit more of a comfortable fit. But yeah, I've really been enjoying that on a daily basis. Like, this is a really nice daily basis lip combo. So let's put everything back in my little tub so we can take it back to where I stash all of my makeup and continue to use it for another month. So these are all the products that I'm going to be using for the month. We are going to say goodbye to Huda Beauty. Let's put it right. Say goodbye to Huda Beauty. She served us well for a really long time, and she's ready to retire. So we're gonna let her retire in grace. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know, do you like these videos? You know, it is nice to kind of, like I said, have the newer stuff, you know, kind of reviewing the newer stuff, seeing all the pretty things. But sometimes we do have to revisit the things that we loved before, and you know, we don't want to waste our money. And so this is a great way of kind of challenging yourself, gamifying your makeup use a little bit, and use the products and rediscover the products that you've had before. So if you'd love to join in on this challenge, please do. It's the Beauty Empties Challenge, last bits, dips, and drips. I'd love to hear about your progress on your products. So comment any products down below that you are intentionally focusing on. I always love to hear from you. With that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the wonderful YouTube things, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.